Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
You are now listening to the Backlook Cinema Podcast with Zach and Zoe. Thank you for joining us as we talk about the movies of yesteryear. You can reach us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter by searching for Backlook Cinema. Check our show notes for more info, and now, let's get it in.
Hi, this is Zach.
And this is Zoe, and welcome to the Backlook Cinema Podcast with Zach and Zoe. And it's the 26th episode. And the reason we started this show was to strengthen our bond between I, Zoe, and my son, Zach. We watched movies that I loved when I was growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and we get Zach's impressions on these great movies.
You can also get hoodies, mugs, face masks, and a bunch of other items at our website, backlookcinema.com.
Please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and other socials, and you can find details in the show notes. Also, at backlookcinema.com, you can leave us direct feedbacks, comments, suggestions, etc. Email us at fanmail@backlookcinema.com.
And please, if you like our show, then rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast app that you might be using.
So, let's talk about this. What have you been up to?
Playing games, seeing Mortal Kombat.
You seen Mortal Kombat?
Also, I'm going to need that password from you for Disney Plus because apparently my TV was like, oh, yeah, your password did change. Suddenly forgot it, especially since you already seen The Winter Soldier. Oh, well, nothing you can do about that. Yeah, you already seen it, but yeah, you got to put in that password. And I was like, oh, right.
So I have no idea how. I didn't change the password.
Remember, you did. I think it was like a few months ago because you couldn't remember. You was like, I got to change the password. And you got to tell Lori about it.
So, I thought you've been using it since then. So, what was you trying to watch on Disney Plus?
Man, the Falcon the Winter Soldier. Because I was like, okay, I got to see 2 episodes. I was like, after that, I was like, okay.
But I hadn't changed it since then.
I know, but
you couldn't watch it on my I
could have went out there, but I wasn't feeling like it. I was being lazy, and I wanted to be in my room.
Okay. Well, we'll fix that. So you only watched 2 episodes?
Yeah.
Man, that show was fire. I finished it up.
I know you did.
You gotta binge that joint, man. That, especially the last episode, man.
It won't be too hard for me to binge.
Man, and it's like every time you go on the internet, man, it like try slide like spoil it for you. So you gotta be careful about how you go on the internet. Yeah, I really want to talk about it, but I won't spoil it for you.
Uh-huh.
You could have texted me and said you lost the password or whatever.
I keep forgetting to do it, and I was like,
Right. All right. So I won't spoil this for you, so we won't talk about that. But that show was fire. It's a guy, so you missed the most powerful episode.
Uh-huh.
Like 3 or 4, man. They get deep. They get deep than Marvel has ever gone. The depths that Marvel has never traveled before. They went deep in this joint. They talked about some real stuff. So we're going to go past that. When you want to see some real stuff, you go and watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier because they get real. And when Dave Chappelle talk about when keeping it real goes wrong, in this show they talk about when keeping it real goes right, they kept it real. So you gotta get into that joint. So but have you seen Invincible?
Oh yeah, I seen those next 3 episodes. I was like, yeah, that's good. Jenkins, shut up.
Right, yeah, don't pay attention to that, man.
I just talking about, oh yeah, it's a 6 out of 10. What are you?
Yeah, they don't know what they talk about.
Whoever your writer is, I'm gonna need them to stop smoking whatever they're smoking.
Right. Oh man, that show is powerful. It gets deep too. So have you seen the last episode when the truth finally comes out?
Let's see. I'm only on episode 6, so no.
Dang.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
What did you see in that episode?
Let's see. If my memory recollects me, the last thing I remember was Invincible had his second breakup with his girlfriend, so they're no longer a thing, and he can't tell her who he is because he's being very awkward about it. But his best friend know who he is.
Right. That's the episode where his best friend found out.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the next episode, it gets powerful. So I won't spoil anything there, but it gets. It's like you're almost to the end, at least the end of the first arc, because some revelations happened in episode 7. I just watched it last night.
The 2 twins, go to the grave of the superheroes. I was like, oh.
Yeah, and you're going to find out what that's all about. And then...
yeah, I already know. It's called policy insurance.
No, it's going to be something completely different.
Because they don't really trust the robot who's threatening them.
Right, and they're right not to trust the robot. But you got to find out what what they want from the robot in order to do what the robot wants them to do. So when you find that out, then you'll find out why they went into that grave.
Because I know he wants them to clone. I don't know what he's trying to clone, but whatever.
Oh, it's gonna be so juicy when you find out. It's gonna be super
Whoa.
juicy, and then it gets awkward too. It's both juicy and awkward when you find out.
Bet it is
what they trying to clone, and then it's like after they succeed, because I'll tell you that they do succeed, and then they ask the robot, "Why did you think this was okay? You think?" His friends be like, "You thought this was okay?" And then there's some. Actually, there's some things that happen in this show that I don't think happen in the comics. But yeah, so I can't wait for you to see that. So but yeah, Mortal Kombat, that was great. That was
apparently some people don't like it because it didn't follow. Apparently, because they expected it to follow the game plot, and I'm like, why?
Right. Yeah, you expect to see the tournament, and I'll just say that I can understand some of what they're feeling, because it's like I knew there was going to be a new character, and I was like, maybe it's not that bad. And then after watching, like, you know what? I'm really not feeling the new character. I'm not into the new character. Mortal Kombat has plenty of characters.
I like him because he reminds me of like the creative character they had. One time.
That's what he was. He was a creative character.
I was like, I like it. I kind of want to do that again. I want to make my own character.
That's exactly who he was. He was a creative character, and I don't think they ever had a creative character in Mortal Kombat.
They did. It was either in Deception or Armageddon, one of the two, where you created a character.
I think you created a character so you could roam around the land, but it wasn't where you can.
There was that, but
in a tournament.
It also, I found it was Armageddon where the fatalities was just boring and dumb. It's like, oh yeah, create your own fatality. What do you mean?
Right.
Just do your. I'm like, why? That's so dumb.
I don't think I got into that game that deep.
No, we did, because we played it on the Wii, and you would never tell me how to do the fatalities. Oh. And every time you would win, you would do it on me, and I'm like, this is not even fair.
Probably because I don't know why I didn't. If I was doing it on you, but wouldn't tell you how to do it.
Yeah, you wouldn't tell me, and I'm just there. When I went to match, I'm like, I don't even know what to do to start it.
Right.
You were there just rip my arms, rip my legs, like, oh, you messed up on something. Oh, well. I'm like, that's not it. I can't do anything.
Right. I don't remember creating the character of Mortal Kombat, but still, I did not appreciate that the new Cole character. I would have liked it better if they just stuck with they could have kept that story exactly the same, just stuck with the original characters. Yeah. They could have pulled somebody out of there.
Or they was testing something. It worked. People like it. They're gonna do another one.
Yeah. I guess it's all right. Even I would have liked it even better if he had a better costume or something. I don't. Something just totally bothering him about the new character. But I didn't mind him going a totally different route with the tournament. Oh, I also didn't appreciate the brand new character killing the other character. Okay. Full disclosure.
Spoilers.
No, yeah, we getting into spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. It's a week since Mortal Kombat came out by the time you hear this podcast. So by the time this comes out, you should have seen it already. So spoilers, 1, 2, 3. I didn't appreciate Cole killing Goro. I did not appreciate.
You were about to say Ganon. I was like,
it should have been a more significant character, and then like Liu Kang was kind of pushed off to like being a side character.
I mean, they had to give something for Cole to.
Yeah, I know that was a problem.
they like Cole had to have something. It was like, well, who's gonna be a real threat? We can't just use Sub-Zero because we want to use him to the end. Yeah, well, let's just use Goro.
Right.
Because we can always just bring him back.
Sub-Zero was a little bit overpowered.
Wink.
I mean, because it's like. It's like he had way more control over his powers than any of the other characters, maybe except Liu Kang, but you really didn't see him push out most of his power to like his last fight.
I mean, you have to remember, he was around when Scorpion was around. Oh, well, Hanzo Asase was around. Right. Of course he's going to have more. It's for the Lin Kuei.
You know what? That's pretty cool. I like that reasoning. I like that logic. But still, I would appreciate it. Yeah,
especially when he came to town.
I mean, he was the most dangerous character there.
Like, he's just walking. It's like, oh, it's snowing. Why is it snowing? Right. And then start raining. I'm like...
Yeah, that was like the best part. It was snowing. Then he made the snow upwards. And then he brought it down.
I'm like, you know what? I don't remember him having this power of snow going upward, but whatever you do, Sub-Zero.
He had all the power.
He's like, ooh, look at this. I can make snow go up and then down and then continue that.
Right. And then I've reading reviews how Kano stole the show, and they were correct.
Yeah, of course. He was strong, but yeah, I like this Kano. I'm going to miss him, but I like this Kano.
He was a great character. I
like Kano
that,
wins.
No, the first part
Beauty.
when what you call it, where he was chained up.
Oh, yeah.
And, what's his name? Cole. He said, "What you said right there?" He's like, "Yeah, I was thinking about going for a stroke, but."
I'm like, what do you mean stay right there? You can't go anywhere, period.
He's like, "No, King, I thought about going for a stroke, but I decided I sit right here."
And then there was Sonya Blade throwing knives, and then she threw it towards his leg. Tell me, you threw it there on purpose. I'm like, maybe.
Right, maybe she did. I guess she knows how well she is at throwing knives. She's throwing a lot. She's trying to hit Reptile, and then she hit
Kano right in the leg. I'm like, maybe it wasn't purpose, maybe it wasn't. Who knows?
Right. But but overall, I enjoyed it. Even though there were the other parts that I disagree with, I still enjoyed that movie. That was great.
Oh, no. I do like how when Kano spit on the little gnome item, that was like, okay, why are we getting to zoom in on the gnome with the hand sticking out? Is that really important? And then jump to when Sonya's fighting Kano.
Right.
I'm like, oh, wow, karma is right there.
So the other thing is excuse me, everybody. There we go. I got it out. So anyways, I think that like if you compare it to the original Mortal Kombat movie, I'm gonna say they're about the same.
Yeah, they're about the same.
Right.
The actings aren't, acting's maybe, completely different. Oh well. The fighting is on a whole new level. It's like Mortal Kombat 1 is good, but then this new one's like, oh my God, you're so beautiful.
Right. They were way more faithful to the characters and the new Mortal Kombat than in the original. But the original stuck with the tournament theme, which I like. But the new one, it was way more faithful to the character, especially like when you see. I think besides Sub-Zero, the one that used his powers the most was Kung Lao. And when Kung Lao teleported out of the ground, he looked exactly like the game.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
I was super hype about that.
He did,
and then
his
he was
hat
throwing
trick.
his hat. Yeah, he did the hat trick. He was throwing his hat every which way. That was sweet.
I was like, which hat trick are you gonna use? Oh, you're gonna use a saw blade one on the ground hat trick? Oh, that's a beauty.
Right. He did his exact fatality. I was like, oh man, that is sweet.
And then he said the words, talking about flawless victory. I'm like, that is a flawless victory.
That was because he never got touched.
lad.
And then he does this thing with his hat where he wipes his hand across his...
I was like,
oh, yeah, that's
perfect.
That was good. So yeah, I thought that it was moments like that made that movie great. So
Liu Kane's dragon, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, they did Liu Kane's dragon.
Oh, that's so good.
So it looked good, but it wasn't as what you call it. Like the hat trick was really the best one. So also I finally finished Red, White, and Black. It's a Captain America comic that's talking about Isaiah Bradley, and so there was some parts about that comic that was like as at least about the story that was like, I don't know about this part of the story, but then there were other parts that made total sense. So I'm like half and half on the story. Some people thought it was like, oh man, this is a super great comic, and the overall concept is great, but there were some parts of the story that it was like it seemed like it was not. They really take certain liberties, I guess, with certain aspect of how the military works. But other than that, but the overall concept was pretty good. But other than that, I hadn't really been doing. I played what's it called? Outer Worlds. Is it Outer World?
Outworld. It's one of the two.
Outer World. Well, I played that game. The game you've been hearing me talk about, you've been listening to the past few episodes. That's the game. I can't remember what it is right now, but that I've been playing that game, and it's got like 2 DLC. I'm playing the second DLC. Then after I finish that, I'll go ahead and finish the game itself. And
the Outer Worlds.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks for looking that up. What was the other one? And then I want to get back with the Avengers because I can hook up with Rocky from the Audio Oddity podcast and because I know he's playing on
PS4. Oh, PS5. Yeah.
Right. So I think I can still play with him on PS4. I'm not sure if I'm going to get Outriders, only because it's $60, and I'm trying to wait for the price to drop. I'm not trying to pay full price on that right now. But I think that's all I've been doing. What else you been up to?
No, nothing. That's about it.
So you haven't been playing any other games?
No, just only Smite.
Just Smite.
Yeah, that's all I've been playing on weekends. Is Smite.
Right. Any other TV shows besides the one we talk about?
No, just watching old cartoon shows on Hulu. Chowder. What else was it? Regular Show. Right.
But you've seen those episodes before.
Yeah, no. And I'm revisiting since Cartoon Network refused to do it themselves.
Right. Oh, they're not even playing those shows on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, they like once the cartoon ends, they don't show anything at all. Show any reruns, and I'm like, this is not Cartoon Network that I know, because the one I know will always show reruns.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing about Cartoon Network. It's like they'll show, like when they first started, they showed like real old shows. It's like they didn't have any original programming, and then once they started getting original programming, they started phasing out the old shows, and then they had a new network called Boomerang that played those shows,
which we don't get for some dumb reason.
Right. And so, we're not paying the top tier of cable.
And the only way to really get Boomerang is to get the prescription. I'm like, why y'all just making things harder?
What prescription?
The Boomerang for the mobile app.
Oh,
and I'm like, why are you making things harder for people? Stop.
Well, I think it seems like every channel got a subscription. It's like CBS got a subscription that they now call Paramount Plus. NBC got a subscription that's free. That's called Peacock, which is now where you can watch WWE.
Yep.
What you call it? You got Disney Plus, which also has a lot of ABC shows. So yeah, it's like everybody's trying to get into the streaming game, and you got to figure out who you can share passwords, or not share passwords.
Yeah, because Netflix is like, hey, we're gonna try to crack down on this whole password sharing thing because we don't like that because we want your money. I'm like, of course you do. Well, of course you'd be the ones that start this.
You can have multiple accounts on Netflix, so
but they don't want people to share their password.
Yeah, it's different sharing your like adding somebody to your account and sharing passwords. So I can understand why they're trying to cut down on people sharing passwords, but that's going to be kind of difficult. But yeah, it's so many streaming services now that I'm having trouble finding the shows I want to look at. Like when I wanted to look at what was it? I don't know, some show. I think Invincible. I could not remember what streaming service it was on. I was like, first I went to Netflix. I went to Netflix and said, wait a minute, it's not on Netflix. I went to Amazon.
I'm surprised you forgot it's on Amazon and Amazon only.
And then when I want to watch like multiple shows, I got to switch to different networks to figure out what I wanted to look at. And then I have been getting into Harley Quinn. That's a fun show. Have you seen that one?
No, I just been seeing clips.
You gotta watch this. So that show is hilarious. It is hilarious. The whole concept of the show is neat. So, anyways, let's move on to the next segment. We're going to talk about the movie. We are going to talk about
Young Guns.
Young Guns.
I'm just going to call it Billy the Kid. I don't care. That's what this movie was really, on most part about. On his ground, where he started from.
Right. Well, yeah, this is just a small part of his life story. So, why don't you tell us about Young Guns?
A group of young gunmen, led by Billy the Kid, become deputies to avenge the murder of the rancher who became their benefactor. But when Billy takes their authority too far, they become the hunted. And that was from IMDb.
Yeah, there you go. Billy the Kid couldn't have read it better himself. This movie was released on August 12th, 1988 by 20th Century Fox. It grossed over $45 million US and Canada on a $13 million budget, and critics hated it. But the audience really loved it.
Of course critics going to hate. Like, oh, I don't want to hear nothing about Billy the Kid.
Well, I think this is like on the, you know how the movie industry goes through phases. So this is like at the end of the Western phase that it was going through, and this is like one of the, I guess one of the last Westerns to come out in that time. So maybe that's why they hated it. I don't know, but it got a lot of negative reviews. I remember watching this movie. It's one of the first movies that I had went to like on my own, like without your grandmother having to take me. And the other funny thing, she rarely took us to movies like anybody. So I was young, I got a job. This is like, it was 1989 when it came. No, 1988. So that would mean I was a sophomore in high school. So, got a job, is able to go to the movies on my own. Go to Jerry Lewis Cinema, one of my best friends, and we walked and we watched. We was in a movie practically by ourselves because it was on a weekday, and we watched Young Guns.
I think my first movie was The Conjuring. I think Part 3.
Goodness, you watched that?
Yeah.
They had Part 3.
Was it? I can't remember. It was something. It was a horror movie.
Yeah,
and I liked
it was Part 2.
Because the one scene I remember is when the lady goes into the room where the baby's crying, and then she turns around and gets slapped by the ghost. And I was like, ha ha ha, that was funny.
Right. I don't.
And then because Mom went to go see Harry Potter, I was like, no, I don't want to go see. I want to go see this movie, this horror movie.
I don't watch too many horror movies. So, I don't know what you're talking about. I just know The Conjuring. I think it had 2, and I think they're about to do The Conjuring 3. But now, the only thing I know about it is that the guy in The Conjuring is the same guy that played the bad guy in Aquaman. The Orm, King Orm.
Right.
That's the same guy. So, yes, I always have fond memories of this movie because I just really liked this movie. I was young. It filled me with joy and laughter. So this movie, once again, I didn't highlight The Thing. But
yeah, I can see that.
Right, but I started and then we'll just do every other one. So this movie starring Emilio Estevez as William H. Bonney, also known as Billy the Kid. He was in The Breakfast Club, St. Elmo's Fire, and The Mighty Ducks. So it was like any actor that started off in The Breakfast Club or St. Elmo's Fire, they was like super hot for a hot minute. It was like a super young, super hot actor for like a couple years, and then they kind of fizzled away.
Now let's see, Kiefer.
Yeah,
Kiefer Sutherland he was playing Doc Sherlock.
I think that's Skurlock.
Oh, Skurlock. Okay, I was to say Sherlock. He was in Stand By Me, The Lost Boys, Flatliners, and 24.
So most people, especially a lot of younger people, will know him from 24. I don't know if you've ever watched that show.
Nope.
So he's basically playing in an American James Bond slash who's a super action soldier, Master Chief. It's like James Bond slash Master Chief type of dude in 24. And so he's had a prolific acting career, and he's the son of another Sutherland. Hold on, what is his name? Can't remember his name, but his father is also a very famous actor whose last name is Sutherland. The next guy on the list is Lou Diamond Phillips. He was playing Chavez E. Chavez, and he was in La Bamba, Stargate Universe, and Longmire.
So his name is Chavez and Chavez? What? No.
Basically, yeah. His name is Chavez and Chavez.
No. Next is Charlie Sheen. He was playing as Dick Brewer. He was in Wall Street, The Three Musketeers, Hot Shot, and you also should know he was in 2.5 Men.
Yes, he was in 2.5 Men. Also, I didn't put this in the what you call the segment, the trivia segment, but Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez are brothers. Of course, everybody in the world probably knows this by now. But did you know this?
No, I did not.
So there must be a couple people who don't know.
Because I was like, they look similar, but not on. I was like, y'all two look like
they look similar.
Except one has dark brown hair, the other one has
right. They look similar, but they don't have the same last name.
Yeah, that's another. They don't have the same last name.
Right.
So like, is one of you adopted or is like?
Yeah, you would think that one of them's adopted or one of them's a different mother, but it's actually a more intriguing story than that. Their actual family name is Estevez. So Charlie Sheen is actually Charlie Estevez. But
he just changed his last
no,
name.
he didn't change his last name. Their father is Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen is also a very famous actor. So Martin Sheen, he was in Apocalypse Now, and he's also played in. He's been in a bunch of movies. You seen Spawn?
Spawn,
the first Spawn movie.
I believe so. Was he the villain in that movie?
Right, he was the main villain in that movie. He was also in. A lot of people know him from The West Wing, so he's been in a lot of movies. And so like even if you watch Apocalypse Now when he was very young, he looks exactly like Charlie Sheen. So, anyways, he's actually Mexican or part Mexican. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I think he's part Mexican. So his name is actually Estevez, but he wanted to make it in Hollywood. So people said maybe you should change your name so you can get more roles. So that's what he did. So he changed it to Martin Sheen, and Charlie Sheen followed that route. I mean, he didn't officially change his name. It's like when you write it on his check or whatever,
it would just say Charlie Estevez.
Right.
Okay. So when he's like,
but that's just his screen name.
Yeah.
Right?
So his screen name is like, oh yeah, Charlie Sheen, and that's what everyone else calls him. Even like in media, it's always Charlie. They don't even call him by his.
No, you never do that. It's like once you chose your screen name, then you always go by your screen name, no matter what. It's like the only time they find out you use your real name is on like your check, or your official documents. So, anyways, Emilio Estevez felt different. He decided to embrace his heritage. He didn't want to run away from where he grew up, so he never changed his name. So
it worked out.
But Charlie Sheen actually paid homage to his heritage. So there was a movie. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It was one of those Grindhouse movies that what's it? Machete. Remember that movie Machete?
I think so.
Oh shoot, I can't remember anybody's name right now. So they had Machete 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so and when they do the trailer for Machete 2, there's like and introducing Carlos Estevez, and Carlos Estevez is Charlie Sheen. So anyway, go ahead, read the next one.
Demont Maloney?
I think it's Mulroney.
Mulroney? Okay, he was playing Dirty Steve Steffens. He was in My Best Friend's Wedding and J. Edgar. Oh, J. Edgar. Okay, then.
Casey, see, I got one of those names too. Let me see if I can get it. Casey Siemaszko. He played Charlie Boulder. He was in Back to the Future and Stand By Me.
Back to the Future, huh? We have Terrence Stamps. He was playing John Turnstall. He was in Superman 2, Smallville, and The Adjustment Bureau.
What did he play in Superman 2?
I don't know. Shoot. I don't remember actors like that.
Did you see Superman 2?
I remember seeing some of it.
Okay, so Terrence Stamp played General Zod in Superman 2.
Oh, okay.
That's the guy that was saying "you" before Zod.
Okay,
except in the movie, his hair was black and it was slicked back. So yeah, that's that dude. I don't know what he played in Smallville.
That's why I couldn't recognize him. I was like, he looks familiar, but I can't put my finger on it.
He do have that.
He has gray. I was like, he has gray hair.
Right.
But in Superman 2, he has black. I'm like,
Right. He was much younger in Superman 2. No, actually, no. He was only 10 years younger in Superman 2. So anyway, finally we have Jack Palance. He played L.G. Murphy. He was in a bunch of movies, but I only put down Tango and Cash and Batman. He's another dude that has a prolific career. He's acted in a bunch of movies. I didn't even mention he was in what's that movie? Shoot, I can't remember the name of it now. City Slickers, that's the name of it. He was in City Slickers and City Slickers 2, Curly's Gold. So yeah, he's and then when we talk about Batman, I mentioned he was in Ripley's Believe It or Not. So yeah, he's done it all. He even did one-arm push-ups on the stage of the Oscars. Dude he's out there. So what's next?
This was directed by Christopher Chain. He did The Next Karate Kid and The Magnificent Seven, which was a TV show.
Right. So not a bunch of high-profile projects, or at least not a bunch of projects that I'm familiar with. But this was a really good movie. This was written by John Fusco. He wrote Hidalgo, Spirit, and The Forbidden Kingdom, among other projects. this dude is really good at writing Old West stuff, old West themes. Is this your first Western movie?
No.
Well, what movie you remember watching?
Well, I mean, there was Django. There was that, but other than that,
that's more like a South.
Other than that, I'm pretty sure there was others that was Western, but I just don't remember.
Right. Okay. The music is by Brian Banks and Anthony Marinelli. Banks had written music for War Game, or he composed music for War Games, Starman, and Stand By Me. And Marinelli, he's done music for Demolition Man and Over the Top. Have you seen Demolition Man?
I don't think so.
Okay, that might be a fun movie. That's one with Sylvester Stallone and damn, what's that black dude's name? I done forgot something else. See, that's what happens when you don't write notes. Who's the dude that played Blade?
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes. Thank you. Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. An unlikely pairing, and made a great movie. So it was the executive producers were John Fusco and James G. Robinson. So yeah, that is the roundup. That is the breakdown.
Yeah, so we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back to talk about our favorite parts of the movie, some movie trivia, and find out what some of the critics thought.
Yeah. This track provided by Zapsplat.com.
In the house, chilling in my PJ, just on the bed listening to my DJ. For real, my favorite songs on replay, and I'm hungry for some Whopper and Placebo. Ha 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 ha, 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 Whopper and Placebo.
Yeah, Lil Big Short out with the new single coming soon tomorrow on SoundCloud. It's going to be the hottest joint.
Nah, man, that joint ain't ready yet.
What?
Nah, man, we had to push that joint back.
Yeah. Get a sample of the first verse on SoundCloud tomorrow.
Nah, man, he ain't even finished the first verse.
Well, what about the hook? Is the hook ready?
Hold on. Nah, that joint
Why
ain't ready.
would you drag me all the way out here and you ain't even got nothing ready?
I thought he got more done.
It's been 6 months. Who spent 6 months on one song?
He an artist, G. He got to be inspired.
Man.
Just put something together, okay?
Yeah. Bolo. Be on the lookout for Lil Big Short single, Whopper Impossible, coming soon somewhere, I guess. Man, y'all wasting my time.
And we're back. Thank you for sticking with us here at the Backlook Cinema Podcast. So, we've got some trivia coming up, but before we start the trivia, we're going to talk about what we liked about this movie. So, Zachary, talk about your favorite parts.
I would say that one good part is when they're all reading, and it was like, okay, hey,
you kid,
tell me, why don't you read? He's like, I don't want to, I'm good. And he's like, well, you can either read or you can just be back out in the world again. He takes the paper and he starts to read, and they're like, oh, he can read.
Right.
Okay, then.
He read very well. He showed them. He was educated.
Another good one was like when they was eating dinner, and they was like, oh yeah, we're just messing with you, Someone, so we heard you killed someone. What was it for? He was messing with me.
Right.
I'm like,
that
whoa,
was good.
Okay then.
What term did he? I think they said ribbon. Yeah, no, not ribbon. Yeah, I forgot what it was.
Oh yeah.
But it was but it was like it was similar to messing with you. He's like, so what you kill him for? What he did? What you kill him for? He was messing with me.
I know I'm going like backwards in the scene, but it's like another one was like before he was about to shoot the pig, and he got 3 knives thrown at him, and I'm like,
Yeah, he was by the post, and the 3 knives hit the post, and it was Chavez that was practicing his knife throwing.
Practicing? No, that's more like do not kill the pig.
Right. He kept wanting to kill the pigs too.
There's only one pig there, and apparently he's afraid of it.
Right.
Let's see. When they were, when they was dancing because it was about to be New Year's. That was a good scene.
Right.
He, you know, he got a fresh new clothes and nice little hat.
Right.
I'm like, okay, that's nice. The next good scene, it's like when basically they became sheriffs, and their first task
They became deputies.
Deputies, and their only task was to hand out a warrant. That was it.
No, they supposed to hand out a warrant and bring him.
Yeah,
in.
and bring him in. But instead, and you know, Dick is like, hey, go in there, give him one, you know, tell him we're bringing him in. You know, he's like, okay, yeah, sure.
He told that to Billy.
Yeah, he told that to Billy. Billy goes in. He looks around. He sees the guy. And then for some reason, he decided to go out, go into the restroom, wait there. And then the guy that they was looking for, he comes into that restroom. And Billy says like, hey, he calls him out by his name. The guy turns around and he shoots him. And then everyone's like, oh God, what just happened? Coming out, started shooting. And I'm like, all you had to do was just give him the paper and bring him in. You didn't have to, like, why?
Right. You could have brought him out at gunpoint. It's like, you thought that's what...
No,
it's perfect that he was in the bathroom alone with him. Then he could have just quietly let him out with his gun.
Let him out and knocked him out. And then it's like, okay, let's take him down.
But instead, he had to shoot the dude. Because he's a homicidal maniac.
I mean, and it shows that, you know, he has screws loose. It's like, is this man all right? He can read and everything. He has good aim point. But his logic thing is like not even good.
Yeah, he quick to kill.
Yeah, and then that's when the first newspaper came out talking about, oh yeah, you know, this guy died. There was a shootout here, all because of the new deputies. And it's like, come on.
See, the thing about it was like when he killed that dude, he started an entire gunfight.
He started it with
totally unnecessary, totally unnecessary gunfight. So yeah, that was a trip.
Another good one is when they had a second task. All they had to do was bring 2 guys in. But instead, they was like, why don't we just, you know, shoot him here down by the river? Like, no, you're not supposed to. Dick is telling you, we're just there to bring them in. We're already in trouble. We don't need any more. And instead, Bill was like, well, no. That's when there was a guy that joined after this whole scuffle they had about, what was it, selling items, whatever. I think it was like some barn stuff, I guess. And he comes in.
What happened? I think what you're talking about is that. So you had the two guys. You had Murphy, and you had the guy that was headed to what you call Billy the Kid. What's his name? I'm looking up his name right now. His name is John Tunstall. So you have Murphy and John Tunstall, and so they both are cattle ranchers, and they both run stores. So they're in competition with each other. So they're having a discussion like. Murphy does not want Tunstall in the territory. He wants him to pack up and leave. He don't want to compete with him. He wants to just control everything without competition. And Tunstall is obviously stubborn because he's in a free country. He's going to stay because he has a right to stay.
Yeah.
So that's what that kerfuffle is all about.
And like, because one of his boys quit and then came down to him. He was like, yeah, I want to join because I quit from him. I called him a fat pig, whatever. I'm like, okay. But then like back to where it seems like they're supposed to just take these 2 men in. And he goes like, we can't go that way because they're going to be an ambush there. And then Billy the Kid's like, how would you know there'd be an ambush there? I was like, see, I don't trust you because you came from the other side.
Right. He came from Murphy's gang.
Gang. He's like, I don't trust you because you was from Murphy gang.
Right.
So this could be a whole setup that you're trying to pull. I'm like, I get where you're coming from. And yeah, that is true. It could have been like that. But, you know, remember, he died when he was with you guys. So I can't really say that he's still a part of Murphy's gang and he's okay with what Murphy did after he was just taken in by some other dude. So, again, Billy doesn't trust him.
Right, they was like, calm down. He's with us now.
Calm down. Just shake his hand. He's like, okay, grab his hand, reach for his pistol, shoot him in the head. I was like, oh, goodness gracious.
Right,
still holding his hand.
Like,
let it go and then shoot him in the stomach. I was like, oh, goodness.
He was like, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Sorry I didn't find you out sooner. It didn't shot him.
And Doc is like right behind him too. He gets blood spot and he's like shocked from me. I'm like, yep, I would be too.
God dang it, Billy, what are you doing? Daggone Billy.
And then when that happens, the two guys, they try to get away and then they get shot down.
Yeah, and then it starts another unnecessary gunfight because Billy, he quit to shoot because he's kind of a sociopath. So he shoots, then the other two guys try to get away, and so now they getting shot at. And then they both die. And so now you got a couple more murders on the regulators.
And then that's when, it's like, okay, they're writing about Billy the Kid again, but this time they're saying it's Dick who's basically Billy the Kid, but he's like, that's not even right.
Yeah, they telling the story, they talking about Billy the Kid in the newspaper, but when they show the police sketch, it looks like Dick. or Richard.
And it's like, well, that's not me. And another thing, they're saying that he's left-handed. Now, the thing is, Billy the Kid is both left and right-handed. So it's like, they will see him using the left hand, but then later on, he's actually using dual pistols.
Yeah, he keeps saying that he's not left-handed, though.
Even though he is, and when you see him shooting, it's like, you can't say you're not and you're shooting.
Well, in these action movies, everybody's double-fisted.
So,
what else you like?
Another good one was when, what was it? I guess when it was like running and it was at this, I guess like this kitchen place, whatever. It was at this building and they're saying prayer and then Millie's getting upset because, the food is getting cold apparently.
Well, he's saying it's because Dick was saying grace over the food.
Yeah, he was saying grace and then Billy the Kid was getting
he was going
pissed
on
off.
and on. He ready to kill Dick because Dick don't want to stop praying with his food.
Yeah, and then like one of the guys I was doing lookout, they come in, it's like, hey, there's a guy coming towards us. Is this only one? Is this him or him alone? And I'm like, who is it? It's like, I forgot what his name was. Like, it's this guy. It's like, oh, there's a warrant for him anyway. They go out to confront him. It's like, hey, we have a warrant for you. He's like, oh, I don't care about that warrant. Besides, there's something on a head for Billy the Kid for 200. The rest of it's like 150. Oh, well.
It's like, I was like, I'll take it anyway.
I'll take it anyway. Puts right in there,
it was
shootout happened.
It was a famous bounty hunter. And he's like, he's killed a lot of people already. So he's not worried about it. It's like, he's a much older dude. So he not worried about these young kids.
Yeah, he's like, I got more experience. I'm not worried about
right. So he kills Dick.
Yeah, because before that, it's like they're shooting out. Chavez gets shot in the chest or stomach, wherever.
He gets shot in the midsection somewhere.
Yeah, Doc gets shot in the right hand, and it's like, okay. Then that's when I
think Billy got shot at least once.
No, he got shot at, but he didn't get hit.
Okay.
That's when he went inside this barn house. I guess it's a barn house or an outhouse. Yeah, went in there. They start shooting at the outhouse. And then Dick's like, hey, Billy, go up there and check. He's like, I dare you. He goes, almost gets shot at, and then go right back to shooting.
He's like, hell with that.
And after they hear some noise going on, like they think they shot him. So Dick is like, okay, he's going to go check on it. But by the time he got not even too close, but he got close enough, he got shot straight in the chest. And they're like, okay, yeah, we got to go.
Right.
We can't.
And they still had to fight their way out.
Yeah, they had to fight.
So I was like, so that dude was, excuse me, here we go again with you. Sorry about that. So anyways, he was super dangerous. That dude was super dangerous. They were trying to take down. So they had to retreat.
Yeah, that's when they went, that's when it was like, okay. Actually, yeah, another good one was like when Child was like, I know a way. And they had to drink this weird stuff.
Yeah, I forgot. Pahote or something like that.
Something like that. And the one I didn't drink was Dick. He's like, I'm not touching that.
So basically, it was a drug that got them high.
Yeah, so they
high. And he using it to try to figure out
the spiritual way.
Yeah, he going to the spirit world. He trying to figure out what they're going to do next. So Dick didn't drink it because he was super religious. So because
after when he was saying grace, you can hear him talking about, "Oh, forgive us for what we have done." I was like,
forgive us for following heathen ways or something like that.
I'm like, wow, I was supposed to be like a little type of family, but then you're just gonna disregard. I was like, okay, then.
But yeah, wow. that was funny because when they woke up the next day, they were super high.
just super high, just going around like Doc is saying a poem, and he's mumbling up on the poem words. Billy the Kid tosses his gun. He's like, "Where did my gun go?"
Right.
Another
Dirty face or Dirty John or whatever.
he was
Dirt face.
talking about
He looking for a chicken.
chicken inside a little hole. I'm like, what? And he kept shooting his gun
shooting
too.
his
I'm like,
rifle.
stop shooting your rifle.
He kept shooting his rifle looking for a chicken that he could that he was hallucinating.
The other guy, he was just doing poses.
Right.
And then Chavez just
He was doing poses till he threw
Chavez
up.
is being Chavez. He's just being chill.
Well,
Like,
he's
okay.
doing it because that's what he did. It was his drug, and he was doing what the drug he's supposed to be doing. He was like posing or whatever. He was he was communing with his spirits. He was in a form of prayer. So he was doing what he was supposed to be doing. Everybody else is tripping out.
Let's see. Another good is when I can't remember his name because I keep forgetting it. It's not Dirty, but he was also the one spitting whatever he was chewing on.
Yeah.
Him. It was like, okay, I want to do something before we continue on. It's like, okay, and they all gave him coins. They're like, just know if anything happens, just yell. They go into the bar, relaxing. That's when they see another bounty hunter. And then he brought up, how he's looking for Billy the Kid and how he's going to shoot him. So Billy goes up. He's like, hey, can I see your gun? I was like, I admire you. I want to see your gun. And then the guy gives him the gun.
Right.
And then he's just looking at it. And as he's looking, he's actually taking the bullets out. I'm like, that is very clever.
Right.
And then, he's also taunting the guy. He's like, yeah, if I see him, I'll let you know. And he's like, yeah, because, Billy, they say that Billy Kid does his whistle when, that's how you know it's him. And he's like, well, if I see him, I'll let you know. He's like, all right, gives him the gun back. And he's like, hey, I see Billy. And he's looking directly at the mirror. And the guy's like, okay, listen here. I don't like how you're messing with me. See, I don't want to embarrass you in front of all these girls. Don't do it. And that's when Billy starts to whistle. And the guy's like, that's actually Billy the Kid. Points the gun, starts trying to fire. And he's like, he realized he has no bullets.
Right.
Billy takes out his gun and shoots him once. He's like, well. I'm like, yep, that's a sociopath right there.
Right.
Even Doc's like, I don't like him.
Right. Yeah, Doc been not liking him.
Yeah, like, and everyone's basically being weary around Billy. They're like scared of him. They don't want to say anything because they feel like that he might turn and shoot them.
Well, I don't think that they're afraid that he's going to shoot them. I don't think that Billy would shoot them. But it's like he's unpredictable. He's always killing people that don't need to be killed. They're afraid not that he's going to kill them, but he's going to get them killed by shooting at the wrong person, or killing the wrong person because he's already killed a bunch of the wrong people anyways.
And then they had to run away because the same guy that killed Dick came.
Right.
We gotta go.
Right. So that dude is out on their trails. So what was it? I'm trying to think. What was the other part you like?
I would say it's like, this is like the final scene. They're all in the house and they're trying to figure out like what to do because they're getting surrounded. And they're like, what can we do? They don't really know what to do, but they have to think of something.
Right, they're getting shot at. From all around the house. And later on, the people out on the outside.
Military,
the people on the outside before the military shows up. Murphy's men set the house on fire. And then
no, the military showed up. Before that.
The military.
The military shows up. He's like, "What are you guys doing here? I don't want you here. I don't need this thing to be getting out there."
Right, and then the military show up. Then they set the house on fire, trying to get up out. They're all on the second floor, and the house is starting to burn on the first floor. And and so getting out was semi ingenious. How they.
They they start tossing things out. Billy the Kid apparently got in a chest. They tossed the chest out. I'm like, I'm surprised he didn't get hurt from getting tossed up, but okay, whatever.
Right.
And then, he comes out and started shooting his pistols. The other guys come out and start shooting theirs. And like another thing, like Chavez was missing. Where's Chavez? He's like, and I think it was Dirty. It's like, see, I knew we should never trust him.
Right.
Good rotten. No, I'm like,
no good rotten in there. I knew we shouldn't have trusted him.
He's getting all upset.
He was getting that kicking stuff.
And here's the funny part. Before that, Chavez told him, talking about, every time you sleep, I put a knife up to you. I didn't kill you. Good thing I did. I'm like, what do you mean?
He's like, I'm glad I didn't kill you.
I'm like, what? You're telling me every night this man is sleeping, you're going up to him, putting a knife up to his neck. Wow.
Right. I guess he really didn't like him.
He didn't like him or the other guy because they kept taunting him. I'm like, Jesus, what type of family is this?
Right. So I like all of those parts that you mentioned. I basically like the overall movie. It was just a nice. I don't know. I couldn't tell you why I enjoyed it. Don't have the words. Don't have the vocabulary to express my feelings for this movie. But yeah, I really did like it. Probably because I like one of the reasons I like it because I like Lou Diamond Phillips. He was one of those, what do you call it? One of those rising actors that was coming out. Before he did this movie, he did a movie called La Bamba, and that was one of my favorite movies also. So it wasn't an action-packed movie. La Bamba is about a story about a pop singer. So Lou Diamond Phillips played that pop singer from the early 50s. So I like that movie, so I started watching movies or shows that Lou Diamond Phillips appeared in. So that was one of the reasons I needed to see this movie. So anyways, those are all great parts. There are a couple other parts that I wanted to mention, but maybe I will remember those parts when we get to the trivia section from IMDb. Why don't you start us off?
At night, the actors would actually get together to play music and sing. When they were drunk, they made Louis Diamond Phillips sing La Bamba as he played Richie Valens in La Bamba that came out in 1987.
Yeah, that's the movie I was talking about. Like virtually all movies about the events surrounding Lincoln County War, John Tunstall is depicted as an older, sophisticated man. Tunstall was 24 when he was murdered, younger than most of the Regulators. Joshua Doc Skurlock was 31 at the time of Tunstall's murder, and Richard Dick Brewer was 27. Only 20-year-old Billy the Kid was younger.
I mean, it's in his name.
Tunstall, that's the older man.
Yeah.
So he was actually only 24 years old.
He was young with them.
In real life. Because the movie is based on true events.
Let's see. Charlie Sheen was reportedly a terrible horse rider. He couldn't keep his balance on the horse, and he fell off several times. His horse took off after the shootout with Henry Hill, and he had no clue on how to make it stop.
That's messed up. None of the movie's fight scenes were choreographed. The actors just improvised. Do you have any idea how dangerous that is?
That is very dangerous. Especially
that
with the
is
horses.
So dangerous.
Especially with horses around and you're on horses too. Yeah, no.
Well, not the gunfights. They're talking about like the fist fights.
Oh, the fist fights.
So you swinging fists and whatnot. I guess the actors worked it out between themselves how to throw a fist.
I can only remember that just that one fight during a dance. That was just about it.
Well, I think that was choreographed. Maybe they were talking about the gunfights, but still, I feel like that was dangerous. Go ahead.
Let's see. Louis Diamond Phillips.
It's just Lou, not Louis.
Louis Diamond Phillips kept his buffalo skin jacket as a memento.
Right. He was like, I'm going to keep this.
Like, this is mine now.
You have to return that to wardrobe.
No, this is mine now.
Right.
I do this for every movie I do. I keep one thing. This is one of them.
When Colonel Nathan Dudley arrives at the siege of McSween House, I'm reading that all wrong. Let me read this. Let me start over again. When Colonel Nathan Dudley arrives at the siege of the McSween House with a detachment of cavalry, the troopers are correctly portrayed as African Americans. The U.S. Army was segregated at the time. New Mexico was policed by the 9th U.S. Cavalry, a unit composed of black soldiers under the command of a white commissioned officer and black non-commissioned officers.
Some of the actors rode so fast, Christopher Kane yelled at them for being dangerous. Lou Diamond Phillips recalled it was the one day when he sort of chastised us for being young.
Chastised, like, you young men need to stop doing that thing. That's chastising. And yeah.
Okay, so scold.
Yeah, scold. Right. And they were just being young and dumb. That's what all that was about. It is widely believed that Billy the Kid, I'm saying it all wrong, tongue-tied. It is widely believed that Billy the Kid's real name was William H. Bonney. However, the film correctly lists that as only one of his aliases and gives his real name as Henry McCarthy.
Yeah, he always kept changing. Like, he always, like, that was a smart thing for him to
wanted
do.
man.
I was like, yeah, of course he's going to change his name.
Right.
Back
in the day, you could just go to, you can go like 100 miles and be a brand new person.
I was watching Discovery Channel. I forgot what thing. It was Mystery at the Museum. And one of them was about how Billy the Kid helped this woman against this corrupted bank or whatever that was going to take her house. I was like, this man's like really, really confusing. He's like, one time he's going to be a hero, other time he's an anti-hero, just straight up.
Yeah, he's basically an anti-hero.
Lou Diamond Phillips stated in a commentary that he went to a meeting with the producers for what he thought was an audition. After explaining his character to him, he thought they wanted him to act out a scene. After an odd pause, executive producers and screenwriters John Fusco said, well, Phillips realized this wasn't an audition, but they were offering him the part of Chavez.
Right. And they was like, nah, this role is for you. We wrote this for you. Please take it. In one scene, Billy reads a report that claims he's a lefty and replies, I ain't left-handed. This is a reference to film, books, and media wrongly claiming Billy the Kid was left-handed based on a tintype photograph of him. Tintypes produce a reverse image, making Billy look like he used his left hand to shoot.
Yeah, I can see how that's possible. And I think they also took a picture, too.
Yeah, that's the picture. That's what they were talking about. That picture that he took, that's the picture that they're talking about.
They make it look like left-handed when he's actually right-handed.
Right. That's the one that you normally see in the history book. I think there's like at least one other picture of Billy the Kid, but the one that he took in the movie is the one that you see in all the history books.
In the final film in the final battle on a day he wasn't shooting, Emilio Estevez dressed as a bad guy and fought along with them.
That's dedication right there. Dialogue by Casey Semesco's character is sampled in the 1994 hip-hop song Regulate by Warren G and Nate Dogg. According to the DVD commentary, Semesco had no clue that had happened and had never heard of the song.
Warren G with Nate Dogg used read dialogue from the beginning of the film for the song Regulate. Regulators were regulate any stealing or of his property were damn good too, but you can't be any geek off the street. You got to be handy with the steel. If you know what I mean, earn your keep, regulators, mount up.
Regulators! Mount up. So, have you heard that song?
No.
Well, you're just going to have to add to your homework assignment. No. You got to hear that. But yeah, that's the song that he had never heard. And apparently you had never heard too. And I know we've heard it a bunch of times because I know I played it a bunch of times.
Maybe I just don't remember it then.
So, and the next one, Baker, the guy who gets knifed, is Jack Palance's son, Cody Palance.
In the film, Billy's gang, the Regulators, had 6 members in real life. There were 11, including George Cole, a good friend of John Turnstall.
Right. So, I guess the movies couldn't
get all the members they wanted to have.
I don't think they could afford to have that many members, and for story purposes, they wanted to keep it simple. So they didn't want too many members of the Regulators.
And maybe they all did. Like, because remember, they only talked about how 3 of them survived, and only one that ended up dying last, or after they split up, the one that died got shot was Billy. The other 2, nothing heard of, because one went to the east, the other one went to, what was it?
I think he went to Mexico.
Yeah, he either went to Mexico or he went west where he wanted to go. Right. And that was Chavez. Right. And he changed his name too.
Right. Oh, he went to California. That's what he went.
And he changed his name.
And so Billy the Kid was the one that stayed basically in the Western Territory.
Yeah, he stayed in New Mexico, got caught, and he was shot.
Was it New Mexico or Nevada?
It was New Mexico. That's what it says when I looked at it. I was like, okay.
Oh, okay. A few members of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club were used as extras in the bar scene when when the group goes to arrest Henry Hill. That's the one where the shootout. When Billy shoots the dude in a bathroom or the outhouse. They were also used as extra security during the shooting of the final battle. That crowds of onlookers are getting too big.
See, that's how you know you got security when using the Hell Angels.
Right.
During the shootout at the bar, the ammo blanks were packed with ceramic plasters for a louder sound. While filming the scene, pieces of hot plasters was hitting the actors. Emilio Estevez was actually hit in the face, causing filming to stop for a short period while he got checked over. Dermont Maroney was also shot in the shoulder blade.
See, that's another reason why just improvising fight scenes is dangerous.
So that's what I was talking about, the fight scene, the choreographers, the gunfights. I was like,
Right.
It's improvising off the back. Okay.
Yeah. Y'all got to be careful. The term regulators was applied to any private armed security force, usually hired by cattle, oil, or railroad barons. Their primary function was to prevent the theft of their employer's property, but they also served as muscle to enforce their employer's will. They were most often Civil War veterans who either enjoyed that kind of work or had no other marketable skills.
Patrick Wayne plays Pat Garrett.
Pat Garrett.
His father, John Wayne, starred in Schism that came out in 1970. Another movie about the Lincoln County Wars of 1878 that featured Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid.
All right, so I guess you know about John Wayne. I mean, I thought it was interesting that John Wayne's son was in this movie, and he's in a movie about the same subject, which is the Lincoln County Wars that also featured Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. So even though, I mean, it's interesting, even though I now know that John Wayne is a white supremacist, but still, at the time, I didn't know that. So anyway, in the final battle preparations, Kiefer Sutherland, oh, you know what? I just remember. His father's name is Donald Sutherland. I knew I would get to it eventually. Donald Sutherland has been in a bunch of movies, including MASH. But I mean, in the final battle preparations, Kiefer Sutherland had to put on a squid blood pack vest underneath his clothes. The rig was supposed to be triggered by Sutherland himself by pressing a hidden button. The whole rig took an hour to set up. And when it was time to shoot the scene, Sutherland got on his horse and accidentally pressed the trigger, popping all the blood packs. Setting the rig up again took another hour. That's funny.
Tom Cruise was in one of the shootouts in which his character was killed. The actor was on set accidentally and asked to be in the film because he has never taken part in a Western movie, and he was really excited to try.
That's pretty awesome.
He's like, hey, I want to try this. I don't care if I get killed. I just want to try.
Right. When they were first learning to ride, the actors played tag on horseback in the sand. Just being kids, just big, grown-ass kids on playing horsey. That's all they were. It was like 20, I think they were like 24 to 30.
I can't imagine Charlie Sheen ever winning that because apparently he's a bad horse.
He sat that one out. It's all the other ones that were playing tag.
Like, yeah, I can't do it.
So now we talked about what we thought of the movie. Let's see what the critics think. So the critics gave it 41%. The audience gave it 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. On IMDb reviews, it's a 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb. So Gene Sisco from Chicago Tribune, he wrote, "Yet another story is told with too much affection for gunplay, and the only thought worth preserving is that these mythic figures of the Old West were very young men, big deal." Which, you know what? First of all, it didn't really have that much gunfights in it, and second of all, you know what, Gene, you need to chill out just a little bit more, okay? What's next?
Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Wilmington. from Los Angeles Times. Though it pales beside such antecedents as Arthur Penn's The Left-Handed Gun or Sam Peckinpah's Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, it has a slick, smoky vigor.
I guess what he's saying is it's not as good as some of these earlier, more classic movies, but it still has some things worth noting. I guess that's what he's saying. It's using so many fancy words. It's fancy. Candace Russell from South Florida Sentinel wrote, Young Guns is an unexpectedly entertaining film. It puts new twists into the familiar terrain of the Western. You know, to me, when I first saw it, it felt like super modern. It felt slick. Like I didn't want to watch like earlier Westerns when I was younger because I was afraid they'd be real boring. But this movie felt like a new coat of paint on Westerns.
Peter Travers from People magazines. The boy suits ride first, get high on peyote, and reveals an enough self-adoring and anachronistic behavior to have all but invertive teeny boopers swearing vengeance on the film makers. Okay.
So he's trying to say that the film is so bad that we want to have revenge on it after having seen it. But that's not true. See, we regular people like it. But you sophisticated critic types, you're too highfalutin to enjoy this simple tale of young kids in the Old West and the psychotic ability kids just shooting people. So you gotta relax your standards just a little bit when you watch Young Guns. So, you got anything more to add?
Nope.
So, Young Guns was a movie I purchased. I don't think that you can watch it. Well, I think you can watch it on Amazon Prime with commercials, I think. I'm not exactly sure. But it's definitely worth checking out if you hadn't seen it before. Sure, we spoiled it if you hadn't seen it, but still, it's worth checking out. You gotta check out Young Guns, because we were all over the place in the movie. It's spoiled, but you don't know what happened. Go watch it. It's great. So the next movie is, on the next episode, is going to be Kickboxer, with Jean-Claude Van Damme. We're going to get back to the fighty. It's like what happened was Mortal Kombat got me hyped for a fighty film. So we're going to watch a fighty film. It's about a tournament that is purported to have happened. So, once again, if you like this show, then please rate us, write a review, and share it with someone. Do pound Backlook Cinema on Twitter or your favorite social media sites.
You mean hashtag? I don't know what you're saying.
Hashtag.
Pound. Don't say pound.
Well,
no.
You can say pound.
No.
That's the old way of saying it. The old way of saying
too
pound.
bad. The people have been saying hashtag.
Hashtag Backlook Cinema on Twitter, or you can @Backlook Cinema on Twitter. Or your favorite social media site. Believe me, it matters. Be safe. Hug your loved ones. Get it vaccinated. I just got my second vaccination. I've got diplomatic immunity. Or
that's not how it works.
That's not how it works. Okay, I got immunity.
No, you don't have anything. No, that's not how it works. Stop.
Okay, so in 2 weeks, I will have better protection against COVID-19.
Okay, that's better.
As I said, hug your loved ones and be outstanding.